Let's go to your text, Utpala. I'm gonna go to your text, okay? Should I show it on my screen, right?
Yes, please.
Let me go get it up first. Shanti Deva, you go take a break. And hang on. Okay, translation. Interlude, current. Okay. Okay, now we're going to your text. Let's see. Yeah. Beth, do you want to talk about your text a little bit?
So this is K. J's little book called Interlude on Emptiness, which is going to be 5 volumes of 300 pages each. So it's not such a little book, and it's not really such an interlude. But we're at the very, very beginning of the beginning, where he raises the question like, okay, the Buddha taught so many different things about the way things are. How do we know which is the one that we should put into practice so that we can see emptiness directly and get the heck out of this wheel of suffering? And so Kate just says, well, there's basically 2 different opinions about what is literal and what is figurative. First, we've got the brothers, Masters of Sangha and Vasubandhu. And then next we have Arya Nagarjuna. So he dives first into Master of Sangha and Master Vasubandhu, which is the mind-only school's ideas about the way things are. And we've been in this for, I don't know how many millions of minutes. And it will be many millions of minutes more before we get into Arya Nagarjuna.
Okay, good. So yeah, we are in the middle of a very difficult discussion about how did Arya Sangha and his half-brother Vasubandhu, what part, especially of the second turning of the wheel, let's say the Heart Sutra or the Diamond Cutter Sutra, what part did they think was literal? What part did they think the Buddha really meant? And which parts did he not mean? Okay, and we're in the middle of a very difficult discussion on that. And here we go. This is one of those classes where the benefit is subconscious. And if you don't understand what the heck's going on, you're in the right class. And it's going to have subconscious power on your mind. Trust me. And don't give up and don't turn off that. You can still go to the refrigerator, but don't turn off altogether. And so I'm going to have Beth read the Tibetan just to get back in the saddle. And then we're going to talk about these quite difficult ideas. Okay, Beth, I'll follow you with my cursor.
Nam she dem par drup kyang nam she di nam she so she pe tane kanglan dup pe shir den parman drup ching den den dry tane ki shiam ne su gyur pa kuntak inla.
Good. So what does kuntak generally mean in the mind-only school? Roughly.
It's conceptual. It's just an idea, just a thought.
Yeah, something is called
construct.
Yeah, something is called something, or we think of something as something, but it's not real. Okay, it's not in this school. It's not actually real. It's just an idea. The name applied to something is an idea. It's not the cup itself. The application of the name cup to a cup is just. But the cup is real. The cup is real. that calling it a cup, you can debate, it's a mental construct, right? So these are referencing the three great principles of the mind-only school, one of which means, hey, it's just exists in names, and it's not the real cup that you can drink your coffee out of, okay? So he says, Namshe itself, consciousness, your consciousness of the world, would you call it nominal or would you call it real?
Real, he says.
Is it more similar to the cup or is it more similar to the name cup applied to a cup? It's more similar to cup. It's not visible. It's not something you can hold in your hand, but it's real. It's not something that's just a concept. You have a mind or you couldn't be in this class right now. Okay, hopefully. All right, done. But when we say this event in my mind is referred to as consciousness, when we say that, I'll say it again. There's the fact of consciousness in your mind. You are aware of this class. But when you look at your consciousness and say, I have an awareness of this class, that is an awareness of this class, that goes into the realm of names again. You see what I mean? There's the awareness of this class exists really in the mind-only school. But if you say, I think I'll call my awareness, then you're in the realm of names again, because you could call it fish or you could call it pizza. And that's a artificial. What you call it is artificial. The fact of consciousness is real. How you call it is artificial. That's just an artificial decision. He says, Dember Madru. What's that mean, Beth?
It doesn't exist in truth.
Yeah, it's not real in that sense, okay? What you decide to call your consciousness is just a decision. You can call it saznanya, or you can call it consciousness, or you can call it anything else. That's just names. But the fact that you're aware of this class is Dembadrupa. That's reality. That's real reality, okay? The fact that consciousness is what you can call consciousness, how about that? Is that a kind of more of a name thing, or is that more of a thinking thing? Awareness.
Say that again, the fact that consciousness is what you call consciousness?
Yeah. How about the fact that you can call consciousness consciousness? Is that in the category of real things like cup, or is it in the category of I'm going to call a cup a cup?
I'm going to call a cup a cup.
Yeah, it's more of the calling thing. And he says, therefore, kunta.
Therefore, it's a mental construct.
Yeah, it's just a mental concept in the three great principles of the mind-only school. Okay. By the way, mind-only school, we had a earth-shaking comment recently where Jetson Kappa said, I think if you have a deep understanding of the mind-only school, you could practice the secret teachings. You could succeed in Vajrayana. That's wow. That's his opinion. Okay, here we go. Who's going to read? Beth, you want to read one more time, and then you can have the pleasure of picking on other people?
Yes, please. On kyang wang she la ngompo nangwa na ngompo tengi di ngompo she so ngo dan kepar ki tane ki shirang ki tsene ki drupar nangwa tarnam she nyongwe rang rikla nam she nangwa na nam she deni ngo dan kepar ki tane ki shir nangwa. Yeah, and
okay, unkang means but Wang She Lam Lumbo Nangwana. When Lumbo, what's that, Beth?
When blue appears to the sense consciousness, the sense power.
Yeah, sense consciousness. Yeah. By the way, what's the status of that in the mind-only school? Blue, the color blue, is appearing to your eye power, the sense, what do you call it? Sense faculty of the eye. And then you're aware that blue is appearing to the sense faculty of the eye. When that happens, is it somehow fake or not real in the mind-only school?
Somehow fake.
It is fake. Yeah. Why?
No, it is fake.
It appears to be
Outside.
Outside of it.
Oh, that's all. Mind only school. It's a 4-letter word to say this object is outside. Blue has 5 letters, but that's a problem. But to say that the blue is outside of your own mind is grasping to self-existence in the mind only school. Okay, to think that the blue that you see is somewhere outside of your own foundation consciousness is ignorance. That's ignorance. Okay, so when you say when you say that this is blue, which is to identify that object's essence, mo, okay, and then you can say this blue happens to be impermanent, which is identifying a quality of the blue. So here they say you are identifying the essence of the object, blue, or you are saying things about it. It's not going to last forever. It's going to turn to yellow someday or something. You know, I'm not going to see blue all day. Okay, with those 2 attributes of the object, its essence or its nature and its features, kepa, mo and kepa kitanyiki, sheer. When you think about the blue and you say, this is what I think of as blue, is that a correct perception? When you call blue blue, is that a correct perception in this mind-only school? I'll give you the easy part of the answer. When you see blue and you think it's outside, are you correct?
No.
No, that's
No.
the ultimate. That's the ultimate no in the mind-only school. But if you look at blue and you say this is blue and this isn't going to last forever, is that a correct perception? Yeah, that's okay. You're identifying. That's wrong. Now, they get to a very deep idea. How many kinds of consciousness in the mind-only school?
8.
8. Nice. 6 are the normal. Yeah, that you read in the Heart Sutra. Okay, 6. We call it the Namshe Tsoktu, the group of 6 consciousnesses. Then number 8 is what? Yeah, that's the foundation consciousness or storehouse consciousness where all karmic seeds are stored. And what's number 7?
Yini.
We call it klishta jnana. It's we call it messed up mind. What's it do for $100? Christina Casa. Wait, Christina Casa. What does messed up mind do relative to the other 7 consciousnesses?
The refrigerator is self-existent.
Yeah, good. It thinks that the storehouse consciousness is me. Okay, and it's ignorance. Therefore, it's called klesha mind. Klesha mind, number 7 in the mind-only school. Okay, so here he's throwing in a number 9, which we have not dealt with. We have not studied it. We did it in the long ago in the Bodhisattva Charvatara when the bear got bitten by the mouse in the winter.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the study of Rangrik. Say Rangrik. What?
Apperception.
Perception. Apperception is a fancy psychology term for the ability of the mind to observe the mind in a single moment, not by memory, not by recalling the mind. It's not thinking at 2:00 today I saw this. It's not that. It's a perception of the mind by the mind in the single moment of the mind. Sometimes they call it a knife cutting itself or a man riding on his own shoulders. Okay. In other words, it seems like an impossibility. Okay. But this school accepts the idea that you do have an awareness of your mind as you are thinking all the time. You always have a self-awareness of your thoughts. Okay. And that's called rangdrik, self-awareness. Okay. In psychology, it's called apperception. Okay. Now, question for you, Beth. The state of mind which looks at blue and thinks it's an outside object is mistaken. The state of mind that sees blue and says this is blue is
Mistaken.
correct. It is
Oh,
blue.
sorry. I thought you said the same thing again.
The
Sorry.
state of mind that looks at blue and says this isn't going to last forever is correct. What about Rangri? What about the state of mind that says, I'm being aware of blue at this moment? Is that a classic mistake mind in the mind-only school? Is it somehow holding something to be which is not?
No, it can't be.
School is okay, it's correct. So
Yeah.
the blue by apperception doesn't hold the same ontological status as the perception of blue by, let's say, messed up mind that thinks it's outside. Okay, cool. You can look at blue two different ways. One is correct, one is wrong. Okay. Okay. What's appearing to it doesn't have the same status as, for example, the opinion that blue is outside. It's very interesting. Okay, there's a party of mine which is correct about the blue. And that's the apperception of the blue. I am seeing blue. That's correct. And it happens in the moment that you see blue. The mind is entertaining two thoughts at the same time, according to the mind-only school. Okay, let's go to 337. Beth, you want to read this one and we'll have some fun?
Okay. Wang she lang o sok ngawana ni nang tang chepe nang yang nam she nyongwe rangrik nam she la ni nang nupe gone nyong she yinpe chiro.
Yeah, and I spend hours with this stuff every day, and I get deeper and deeper understandings of it every day. And for me, it's extremely pleasant, and I use it for my whole life. I use it for everything, and it makes my life amazing. So here's a word called Nina. Beth, what does it mean generally? Nina.
Where is it?
First line, 337. Nina.
Oh, appears as two.
Yeah, appears as two, which is usually translated as
Duality.
duality. Okay. Now, oftentimes in English, the word duality in psychology refers to the duality of subject and object. Okay, so the subject's over here, the object's over there. But in the study of the validity of perception, Ninang means, is there a duality going on where something seems to be one way, but it's not that way? And that's called dual appearance, Ninang. It doesn't have to do with the feeling that I am separate from the object. Okay, in Buddhism, that's not a mistake. And a lot of people think it is, or they think that's what they're talking about here. It's not that. Of course, the subject and object are different. The word for object in Buddhism is
That which holds the
thing the
subject.
subject holds.
word for subject in Buddhism is the thing which holds the object. And then these people say, oh, Buddhism says you sink into the object and you're all one. Chula chushakpa, pouring water into water.
Water.
Nobody ever said anything like that. Yin Nang doesn't mean that. Duality doesn't mean that. Duality means it looks one way, but it's really a different way. Okay, got it? So whenever you see the word Ninang, please, 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 don't think duality refers to the separation of subject and object. It doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with, is the object what it seems to be? Because you've got the real object and you've got what it seems to be. And those are two. And that's called duality. We can say, I much prefer to call it discrepancy. Okay, there's the way it looks, the way it is. Okay, and in Tibetan, that's Ninang. Okay, duality. All right, now he says, when you see blue with your Wangshe, you got lots of Ninang going on there.
You have lots of it?
You got lots of duality in the sense of something seems to be a certain way, but it's not. What? The blue seems
Appears
to be
outside.
outside, but it's not. That's duality in the mind-only school. Okay, there's a duality going on. In the higher school, it means a feeling of self-existence. In the lower school, it's a feeling that it's outside, that the thing is outside, when it's really, you're just looking at a part of your mind, your own mind. Okay, got it? So if the perception of blue with a sense consciousness is affected by duality, okay, got it? Now he says, do you guys think that Rangrig is infected by duality? What do you think? Rangrig, when the mind sees itself.
So it doesn't see itself as being outside?
Yeah, there's no duality going on there in the mind-only school's idea of duality. Okay, because in the mind-only school's idea of duality, if you're thinking it's outside and it's not outside, you are infected by duality. Okay, but if you're just aware that you're aware, if you're just aware you're not dead, for example, which is Rangrig, which is apperception, okay, is that infected by duality in this school? No, it's all inside. There's no outside discussion. It's just your awareness. It's your inner awareness. Is it mistaken in this school
No.
to say to yourself, I'm thinking of blue? No, it's not mistaken. If you say, I'm thinking of a blue which is outside by itself, that's a ninang, okay? But if you're just thinking, I'm thinking of blue, that's okay. There's nothing wrong there. And
Wait a minute, you can't have a wrong Rick of yourself seeing that the blue exists outside?
we're not going there.
All right.
I'm just saying in this school, it's not ninang yopa. It's not ninang dang chepa. It is not infected by ninang. The ninang has third line, end of the line. What's the verb?
No.
Nope.
Yopa is the word for west, the western direction.
It
people,
sinks or subsides or goes away or
when you do in yoga a
Question.
Paschimottanasana, Paschima came into Vaschima, came into west. It refers to the west, okay? And in Tibetan, the way you say west is Nupa, which means it has set in the west, in meaning referring to the sun, okay? Nupa is what Vasubandhu says is going to happen about something in the final lines of his kosha.
The teachings.
The teachings are going to Nupa. Okay, and Dharmakirti was whining about it when he died, right? Anyway, here it says Ninang Nupa. What's that, Beth? Ninang.
oh, so that the duality disappears.
Is suppressed.
Oh, it's
Like-
suppressed.
Is suppressed. Nupa means to suppress. Psychologically here, it
Okay.
means the feeling that the blue is outside of me and I'm over here is suppressed in Rangrig.
Okay.
When you perceive your own mind, when the mind is aware of itself, it's not infected by worrying about things being outside but that aren't outside. The duality has nupa. The duality, the sensation of duality has subsided. How's that? Okay. It's not infected. Rangrig is not infected. The perception of blue is infected in the mind-only school, but the perception of your own mind is not infected. You're not thinking it's outside somewhere, right? Got it? Cool.
So I'm wondering, why isn't this a ninth consciousness? Because
I'm
it's
sorry.
not, why is this not a ninth consciousness? Because it's not infected.
I bet it is a ninth consciousness, but they don't count it.
Okay.
They'll
all right.
probably throw it into storehouse consciousness somewhere, I guess. Okay.
I think
Ninang
it's built into each of the other perceptions.
Oh,
could be that. Okay. So Nyongje in the last 337, Nyongje means that's how apperception experiences its objects. Okay. In a manner in which duality has subsided. Nim nang nupa. Cool. Got it? Cool. Okay. By the way, Upa, we understood two sentences in a row. I think it's God. It's amazing.
it's amazing.
We're about to hit one. We have no idea.
Hey.
We're going to have somebody read for you.
Yes, I would like Venerable Chinsun, please, to read.
Be tough on her. Okay. New Yorkers can take it. Just make sure she has some coffee.
Ready. Yento deni ki ma ntuwar nupe wangshe ki nang yulrangi senni ki ma jupna yu pa njok me mi shela.
Nice, thank you.
Okay. Best translate Niente Deni.
So those two of the detailists in the sutras.
Yeah, the two listener groups, okay, which are the two lower schools of the four schools, okay? They didn't even get as high as mind only, okay? They're below mind only. And he describes them as listeners, meaning they don't really get it, okay? They say Wang She is Madrua.
They say that the sense consciousness is not diluted.
Good, is not mistaken. They say the perception of blue is not mistaken. Okay, and Nangyu, Raki Kiseni, and they say if the object which is appearing to a sense perception, Nangyu, if the object which is appearing to a sense perception, such as the perception of blue, if that object did not exist in and of itself, then Yupajong Mishe. They wouldn't know how to describe it as existing.
Right, okay.
Okay. If the object of a sense perception doesn't exist the way it seems, then it can't be real, and it cannot exist at all. They would say if the blue is not what the blue appears to be, the blue doesn't exist at all. The mind-only school would say the blue is not what it appears to be, but it sure is there. Of course it's there. When you look at the sky, it's blue, but it's not blue out there. It's blue in your head. Got it? We okay?
So so that means that they wouldn't be able to establish it as existing?
Not sophisticated enough to say if it's not outside, it could still be real. Okay, got it? The lower two schools would say that then it's not real. If it's just in your head, it's not real. And the mind-only school says, because it's in your head, it's real. Okay, got it? Good? Okay. I got 3 sentences, oh my God. Who's next, Beth?
Is Ina available?
I like having me here, you guys, because we get to show off, so we're more, we're more animated today. Okay, go.
Ina is not available. I gotta quickly look through 459 million names. Is Svetlana available?
Yes.
Yay.
Nam rikpe pak chak ten chung gi wang shela nang we dun yang yin rangi tsenni kima drupa ming tang depa shakpa sam yang inpe shitun jokshe yang.
Lovely. Thank you.
Whoever's whistling, I'm going to cut your neck. No whistling. All right. Here we go. Okay. What's a Namrikpa, Beth?
It's a mentalist.
It's a nickname for the something.
Mind-only school followers.
They're called mentalists. Okay. And when you see mentalist, when you see Namrikpa, you have to think Semtsampa. Okay. The mentalist, meaning the mind-only school. Okay. They got this idea called Bachang Tenjung, and you're going to describe it to us. I have a clue there in the English.
Yeah, so for beginningless time, we have been calling things we have been thinking of things as being outside.
Yeah.
And by having done so, like a gazillion times every 10 minutes, for time with no beginning. So we're talking about numbers we can't even imagine, conceive of. We just can't. It is now that way for us.
Yeah. And my favorite example in the mind-only school is the feeling that objects are separated from me by a distance. So I'm looking at a white pillar right now in the lounge here, and it seems to be about 3 meters away from me. It definitely seems to be outside, but more specifically, it seems to be about 3 meters away. And then somebody challenges the mind-only school and says, well, if the object's not outside, where did this sense of distance come from between me and outside objects? And then the mind-only school's answer is, if you think about something the wrong way for enough zillion eons, it'll become inherent in your thinking. Okay, so this called, and the seed, the mental seed that causes that is called Tenjungi Bakchak. Okay, Bakchak Tenjung. Tenjung means firm because of repetition by billions of years. So the feeling that the pillar is out over there is coming from billions of years of mistaken talking about it. It's interesting. They say it's talking about it. Referring to it as over there a billion times is enough to make it seem that way automatically.
Geshe-la,
Yeah,
sorry. Isn't it usually Nunjuki Bakchak? Is it the same thing?
yeah, you can say, yeah. Wang Shen, Tenjungi Wang Shen La Nangwei Den Yang Yin. It's an object that's appearing to the sense consciousness in a certain way. And Ranki Tseniki Madrupa, it's not real. Okay, it doesn't exist by itself. Okay, it's not real. That blue that's outside does not exist in a real way through any nature of its own. Okay, Ming Dang De Shakpatsam Yang Yin. Can we say though that the pillar is just called over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, even in the mind-only school. In the middle way school, that's the basis of all reality. You just call it that. But in the mind-only school, this feeling that the pillar is over there is the same sort of thing. If you talk about it that way enough, it becomes over there for you. Okay, Mingdan Shaksasamin. Shitun Jokshe. Jokshe means they know how to reconcile those two ideas. What? Number one, it's not what it seems, but it is something that exists nominally because we've said it so many times. It feels like it exists, okay? Does it really exist that way? No. Does it feel that way because we talk about it that way for zillions of years? Yes. Can you reconcile those two? Joke she. I can. She means know how to. Joke means establish it. It can be fake and it can feel real. Okay? It can be fake and it can feel real. Yeah. So that kind of reconciliation they can do. Who?
The mentalists.
Yeah, nice. The Namrikpas, the mentalists. Okay. Third school knows how to do one kind of reconciliation. Is it over there? No. Is it what it seems? No. Does it feel that way? Yes. Can you reconcile the two? Yeah. You can say it's over there. Okay. But now, apparently, there's another reconciliation that the mind-only school cannot do, and we assume somebody else can.
Oh, yeah.
Little-
And so here, Vimala, are you in the building?
Yeah, let me say, anticipatory translation. Okay, where is he going next? He says the mind-only school can reconcile that something's not really out there, but that it feels that way because you've talked about it that way for billions of years. That we can reconcile. Okay, but what can they not reconcile? What two ideas are too strange for them? Here we go.
Oh, something about cause and effect, right?
Well, that's half of it. When we say reconcile, it's two ideas. So cause and effect cannot be reconciled in their school with
not being real.
no. Read the sentence here.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to find someone to read it for me. Ming dang de shapat sam la gindre jokmi she pat te dang ngopoi shi tun mi de do.
Yeah. So they cannot reconcile. They can reconcile appearing to be a way with not being that way. They can reconcile that as far as the distance of the pillar. Okay, they can reconcile that. But what they cannot reconcile is that things could exist through Ming and Da and
Through
still
name and, mental picture
be Gyunde.
and still be cause and effect.
Could the apparent distance between me and the pillar actually create another thing? Is it real enough to trigger something else? And they would say, no way, it's not real. And then, but the highest school, middle way, says, yeah, it's so damn good, it can make stuff happen.
In fact, that's the only way it can make stuff happen.
Yeah, well, okay, so here we get to this big reconciliation. Can you reconcile the fact that one thing triggers another when both of them exist only in name and they have no reality of their own? Okay, is it possible for something you think is there to create another thing you think is there in a way which you just think is there, and it's all real? And the highest school says that's exactly how things happen. When you write on a piece of paper with a pencil, the pencil's not writing on the paper. Your mental seeds are creating the writing. The mental seeds create the paper, the mental seeds create the pencil, and the mental seeds create the appearance of letters when the pencil moves across the paper. And it's all in your mind. And it's all happening through mental seeds. And it doesn't exist out there, okay? In that way, right? They can reconcile it. A pencil can create letters, even though neither the paper, the pencil, or the letters exist by their own on their own side. Okay, got it? So the mind only, the middle way school can reconcile that stuff, but the mind only school cannot. Okay. Done. So they say, Gyunde Jok Nishepa. Jok Nishepa means they don't know how to reconcile it. Their school is not that sophisticated. Okay. Dang Mupe Shiten Mindudo. They would say if something is Mingde Shaktam, it cannot be at the same time Engop.
Yeah, they'd say that if something is merely established by name and mental image, then it can't be a functioning thing.
Yeah, if something is a creation of names and thoughts, it cannot do something. But the highest school says, that's the only way it could have done anything. All right, got it? Okay. It'd be interesting to take this class and apply it to real life, but we won't. All right, next does. Who's going to read for you?
Let's see, Fernanda Jimenez, would you like to read?
Okay, I can try.
Yay, thank you.
It's nice to have you here, and congratulations on your marriage, by the way.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you so much.
Ooh.
They fear drang near ram, Viet lam on kyang, Ming dang bra, Sapa sam jinpin, Chadela ryu, Bra mi rung, Bardi pam do.
Great,
Nice.
thank you. You did that so well. You want to do the one right before it?
Yeah. Can you do 341 also?
Okay. Dumata,
Uma.
Umata, Uma. Yurbani Ming, Samji Sakpala, Ryubra Jok, Shakpa Pudu Byung Ba Jinno.
Great,
Nice.
thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Let's translate it. What's it? Uma Telgyowa?
So, you know, a middle way, consequence branch of the middle way?
Yeah. And by the way, he's done a very sensitive sidestep. He said those mind only guys don't know how to explain this. But the middle way school, at least the higher half. You see what I mean? And I was waiting for that. I'll say it again. That mind only school, they don't know how to say something's cause and effect if it's created by your names, right? And then he says, but the middle way school, at least the upper half, you know, they know they can establish U and J
Cause and effect.
with things that are only Ming Tsum.
Things that are only established by name and mental image.
And because they know how to do that, Shepa, They are Atisha. Yeah, in Sanskrit, Atisha.
Perfect.
They are far out. They are great. Okay, Pultachun. They are Atisha. That's Atisha's name's meaning, right? Pultachun, Puntong. Yeah. Okay, they are Puntong. They are Pultachun. Okay, good. Okay, Beth, who is the next victim?
Oh, the next the next lucky contestant on the Do Perfectly in Tibetan is Inky Dai. Would you like to read?
Inky.
Inky.
Oh.
Singapore Inky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Not here.
driving's the only way she's gonna be able to do it. No, she's driving, I think,
Oh,
somewhere.
she's driving. Oh, darn. How about Janine? How about Isabel? Isabel
Yeah.
Howell?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Day, cheer, John, nay, nam, way, lay,
Jay Lay.
J, lay, thank you. On, yang,
Yang.
ming, dang, yang, ming, dang, sha, J, pa, cham, in, chin, cha, de, lar, gu, ja, mi, rang, ba, di, pa, da, do, do. Thank you.
Yay,
Good.
thank you.
What's Chang'e Namje, Beth?
It's Jason Kappa's book on the
Separate-
essence of eloquence.
Yeah, separating what was meant only as a metaphor or
What's
figurative and literal. Divide Namje here with the prenasal means dividing the literal from the figurative, right? And by the way, it was the idea to write that book was one of the greatest philosophical achievements in the history of this planet. Okay, and someday you'll appreciate it. Okay, he said, "Engang" means what? But okay, if something is established only in through Ming and Da,
name and mental images.
yeah, names and mental images. Chinche means from that point on. Chinche means from that point on. Once you say that something exists in name only, once you say that something exists in name only, Ginde Miru.
Oh, then it's not suitable to talk about its ability to be cause and
Yeah.
effect.
Once you say something is made up by names alone, it's out of the realm of cause and effect. Something that exists just by calling it something puts it outside of the realm of cause and effect. Now, who would say that? Dipa. Very tough word here. Dipa. D means what?
Some guy.
D means this. And Dipa means this guy's. Who's Dipa here?
Number first.
Yeah.
First.
The minority school. And so Kappa doesn't do us the honor of identifying them. He says, this guy's. And you have to work backwards. If you're a translator, you have to, who's the heck is he? Who's this guy's for him? It must be the mind-only school, because they think once something exists in name only, it can no longer trigger something else. Got it? Cool. But in the highest school,
That's the only way I can.
the trigger, the triggery, and the triggering are all name only. Okay, cool. Ditto, that's what they think. Okay. We always, in mixed nuts, we always go to the original quotation in the database, and we always confirm that he's quoting it correctly. Because sometimes yeah, go ahead.
And am I also going to try and look for where mind only would be the that which is referred to by Deepa?
Yeah, we try to get a little context if we have time, which we don't. Okay. Oh, there it is. And he did quote it correctly. Okay. Which makes sense since he's so-called a student. All right. That's who would you like to read? That's
I would like Jerome Giovinazzo to please read.
who?
Jerome.
Jerome. Wow.
Maybe.
Come on, buddy.
You gotta turn your microphone on. I bet I like it when they fake that the microphone's not on. and
I
they're going,
know. He's probably making tea or something. Venerable Cotting, would you please like to read? Uh-oh, she's making tea too. How about Caternia crania?
who?
I probably said that name really wrong. Caternia crania.
Katerina.
Caterina crania.
Признайте это, женщина?
No, I've said her name 40 times. Okay, how about Lei Twin?
How about let's Greer?
Okay, Dunmani he suk sok tok pe shin shi dang de dok pe ne su rang seng ki drupak na te tak yep par jok mi shete.
Let's go to the joke Michelle because it's been repeated here.
Yeah,
What?
they wouldn't be able to reconcile it.
Yeah, they don't know how to. Once you say something exists in name only, we don't see how it could do anything. They don't know how to establish that. Okay, joke Michelle.
Oh. Okay.
The Dun Manis. What's Dun Mawa mean?
So they would be the sutrists and the detailists, the objectists. Those
Yeah,
two.
and people who say there are things. The two schools are referred to collectively with the name those who say that things are there. But what things?
Function.
Physical things.
Self-existent things.
Lindsay, no,
All
outside.
things that are made up of little parts, indivisible parts, outside
Chiro-
things.
Full name is called Chiro Dundamau.
Oh, okay.
To say that outside blues exist. They got the blues. Okay, all right. Detail. So tope sheshi dan dope nese rangi senigi tupa kegna tera yopa jomishina. If you refuse the idea that they could exist in and of themselves, okay, outside blue, okay, if you say they don't exist in and of themselves, and if you say somehow they are the result of dan dopa, creations of names.
Right.
If you say somehow they are the creations of names and ideas, then they would say, then I don't see how they could, I don't see how they could even exist. Okay, if you say to us, if you say to the two lower schools, they are simply creations of names, they will answer you, I don't see how they can exist. Okay, if they are creations of names, I don't see how they can exist. By the way, and it's something, there's a link here to the mind-only school. There's a link here to one of the three characteristics of the mind-only school. An important link.
Shenwang?
No? You got two left.
It's got to be a kuntak.
Kuntak. Yeah, kuntak. Made up with names, right? So it's a very interesting, it's very intriguing. He's describing how the lower schools can't handle it when something is described as existing only through name and thought. But in the mind-only school also, that's the only category of the three which is unreal.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's the only category of the three great categories of the mind-only school which is not Denver. It's not real. It's not true. It's very interesting. If you're very sensitive here, you can see he's playing with it. He's criticizing the lower two schools for something that the third school also has trouble with, because they misunderstood the second turning of the wheel. Okay, very interesting. It's very fascinating. Okay, here we go.
Before we go down, could you translate for me Nesu?
Yeah, it's a topic which they are incapable of reconciling. Yeah,
So Nesu would be topic?
Yeah, oh, sorry. In this case, something cannot be the thing, something cannot simultaneously be the object of a conception and at the same time exist only in name. And that's the exist only in Nesu. Okay.
Exist only in, okay.
Yeah, or an object of name only. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, who's going to read the next one?
I'm going to Tsema Pa
Okay.
La Drakpe Rang Sen Ni Mino She Sung Pe Dunyang Detar She Bar Jiao.
Good. What's it say mapa?
Oh, it's got to be a sutrist, right?
Good. I had trouble with this one, and you got it right away. Sema means what in Sanskrit?
It means accurate perception. Oh, in Sanskrit, pramana.
Pramana.
Pramana pa.
Says those pramanappers, which is the word that we know, but Beth's figured it out, and she's right. Meaning those, which school out of the four?
The second.
Those number two school guys.
Yeah, Adam and Ben.
Yeah. The guys who follow Dharmakirti and Dignaga, okay? Those guys, when they talk about Rangchen, yay, we have a link to Adam's text. We just spent like a year.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Last Saturday, if you remember.
That was like 2 days ago.
It was a different universe called Rimrock. But we talked about Rangchen a lot. What is the difference between Rangchen and Chitzen?
So if I had to get this right, a Rangchen is a manifest object.
Good, just the cup is.
Yeah, and then a Chitzen would be the archetype of.
Yeah, the mental picture of cup, and that's very important in the second school. Now it's a little bit different. You can see how they all reflect each other and how they all tie together. But the big idea in the second school is there's the cup you're drinking coffee out of, and there's the mental image of a cup, which is the one that kind of popped into your mind when your mom taught you the word cup. Okay, so he says, you may think that the idea of a cup, the real cup, okay, the manifestation of the concept cup in the real world, which is called Rangchen, you may think that there's some reference here to the second school, compared to this idea that the third school can't take it when you talk about something existing in name only, okay? You may find some parallel here to the second school's idea of an actual cup, which is a reflection of a what do you call it? Archetype.
An archetype.
You may find some parallelism here. He says, man.
But
somebody says, if you find this to be a reflection of the second school's idea of the cup that your mom taught you and then the real cup in the world, nah. It's like, nah. Okay. Where did Kitterjay pull that out of? And then you have to have memorized the Chang'e Lekshin Yinbo to know that that's the next sentence in Tsongkhapa's book. He says, don't take this too far. Don't try to tie this back to the second school. It don't work. It doesn't work, okay? And you have to know a geshe is normally required to memorize Chang'an Qing. You get an award. You get an extra cup of tea or something. All right, I didn't go for it. I could buy my own tea. Okay, so all right, who's next?
I would like to
What's this?
okay. Semapa la drakpe rangseni minoshe pa ang dun mani wangshe matru la suksok tane kishir rangwe dun tingi shel jani chir sematni she so ki kapsu drakpe rangsentu mindu par pa minte.
Yeah, good. Okay, now he's going deeper on Tsongkhapa's side comment. Okay.
Okay.
The important phrase here is in the fourth line
Okay.
when it says Shel Jan Yi Chir Tsemeni. And let's get that clear, and then we can see what Tsongkhapa is saying not to think about.
Okay.
So in general,
Oh.
this is a quotation from Dharmakirti in the opening lines of the Pramana Vartika, and he's saying there are two kinds of what do you call it? Accurate perception, because there's two kinds of objects we want to perceive. What's it mean? Stanley looks like he's on it.
No. Yeah, it's the is it the Chishisha?
No. What are the two kinds of perception according? I mean, the whole subject matter of the Pramana Vartika.
Yeah, well, the two perception are direct and indirect.
Yeah, good.
But
Yeah, you could say sense perception, for example, of
Right.
blue, and then indirect perception, which is what's in my hand behind my back.
Yeah.
And then you're actually seeing a phone, but that's an indirect perception.
Right.
Because there are two tools of perception, there are two types of objects to be perceived: mungyur and kokyur.
Oh, obvious and
Yeah. Manifested, hidden, apparent and hidden.
Apparent and hidden. Okay. And that's the whole premise of the Pramana Vartika. Okay. Because there are two things you want to perceive, there's two tools of perception. Direct perception, valid direct perception, and valid indirect perception, which itself has three types, but that's another thing. Okay, ready? So he, great idea. So that I can go home and have pizza or whatever. Why don't you translate this sentence for next time, Ben?
Okay.
And it's not easy, but
I can tell.
I believe that if you chew on it, you can do it. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you. You did a good job. This is extremely difficult book, and I'm really happy that you're working on it, and it would be very valuable to have translated in the world. So, thank you. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks.
We'll see you guys on Saturday morning, just before cinnamon rolls.
Thank you so much.
I try to make people hungry in the class so they'll eat more at my cafe. Nick, going back to you.
I would just say, everybody, if you want to stick around for some basic alphabet classes of these languages that we study, stick around, and Wordsmith will share a class immediately following this one. So just feel free to stay on the same link. Thank you, Word, so much for doing that. And if Francisco or Marina, if you could hand Word the host credential, then he'll be able to host the call. So stick around. Thank you so much, Geshe Michael, for another Monday night Xuanzang's Tower. This was amazing.
Good night, football.
We're so lucky to get to hear this.
We are. Get some good sleep, Nick. It's like 2:30 in the morning, right?
Tomorrow will be the good sleep. Thank you.
By the way, Nick, in my opinion, you could listen to this on a delay or something, and you don't have to do this. And I think if it disturbs your health, I think you should think about doing it on a domain. Okay.
Okay. I'll pay attention. I'll keep an eye on it and see how it's going. Thank you.
I don't think it's conducive to your health. So you see how you feel.
Okay.
We can have Ben Kramer host the show. Or, yeah, who lives in a more reasonable time zone.
All right, cool. I'll let you know. I'll talk to you about
Okay,
it.
don't worry. No pressure. Either way. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, everybody. Stick around for alphabet class if you want.